I live at 3913 Market Avenue North in Canton. I'm president of the Canton Board of Park Commissioners, and I'm here again tonight to voice our board's unanimous opposition to the proposed ordinance that would dissolve this commission. I think we all have a common vision here. The mayor, council, our board, the board of park, or I should say the board of recreation, and that's to create a citywide park and recreation department. I think the fundamental problem that we have here is how we go about getting there. We fundamentally think that there's a right way, and what I think the mayor's proposal does here is the wrong way. It basically is ignoring a vote of the citizens of Canton and asking you not to represent the constituencies that you were put in office to represent, but to actually go against their wishes. Now, I don't quite understand how that makes any sense to anyone. Without belaboring every single point, I think members of council have been sent a letter here from the president of the Park and Recreation, or I should say the Recreation Board, by Mr. Duff. And he outlines a 5 or 4-step proposal of how to get to this. I think it makes absolutely correct sense. I think you should read it, think about it, and put together a committee that consists of members of council, members of our board, members of the recreation board, members of the school board, and come up with a plan that we can put on a ballot initiative in front of our voters and let them decide, does it make sense? How will we go about funding it? And let the people decide, not one individual. That's all I'm asking. I think it's up to you. I'm asking the mayor to please withdraw this ordinance, and if he doesn't, next 2 weeks from tonight, vote no. Thank you.
My name is Leon Cody. I live at 1225 41st Street Northwest in Canton, 44709. I'd like to address the issue of the dissolution and of the park board. To the members of the city council, I'd like to share something with you. In our lifetime, there are many times that we have run into having to do something. And it's very legal to do it. But we've walked away from it because we determined it was not ethical or it was not moral. And I would ask you to give that some great thought before you vote to disband the park board. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Kim Bennett. I live at 4023 Vernon Avenue Northwest. I appreciate members of the council being here tonight, open to hearing our opinions, minus one person on this board who considers our opinions noise. I would assume that everybody in this room has read the letter written by the mayor on August 9th with regard to parks. This letter is basically semantic blather. It means nothing. My first red flag was during the campaign when I had the campaign cronies in my neighborhood spending more time logging addresses with his opponent's signs and yards. I consider that offensive and a violation of my privacy. In 1920, the people of Canton voted on a 3-to-1 margin to establish a 3-person park commission with a director. The people who have done this job have done it with excellence. And we are fortunate to have such lovely parks in this city. My children and my neighbors have worked tirelessly in our parks and have been dedicated. They wanted to paint and they couldn't do it. They had to beg for paint. That's preposterous. You have children that want to better their environment and they have to beg to do it, and thus they get in trouble. I'm having a hard time finding the logic in this. Fixing something that is not broken is a waste of money, it is a waste of time, and I personally have to work very hard at having a job. I don't get political favors, I don't manipulate, I don't hoodwink, and I don't make promises to people that I'm not going to follow through on. I work hard at my job and I take pride in it, and I would certainly expect a leader in this community to do the same. Saving $100,000 for Mr. Perry's position is rather nauseating that he would even come up. It's glaringly obvious that there's a personal vendetta and that there's retribution with the goal of controlling. Anybody here that doesn't see it needs to open their eyes. I don't know what the agenda is. Only one person in this room can answer that question. Searching their heart, and it's between you and God. There is no legitimate fiscal reason to disband, costing us more money, which we don't have, and the city is becoming more demoralized by unethical behavior in this office. The citizens are expecting integrity and professionalism. They want a reflection of the pillars of character, including honesty and trustworthiness. We question what has transpired in 14 days in terms of persuasion for voters in favor of the mayor's proposal, which is illogical.
Thank you, ma'am. Time's up.
This is not a dictatorship, and we would like a line item expense from your trip to Germany. The media,
Ma'am, please.
the media deserves to know where our taxpayer
Time
money
is
is
up,
going.
ma'am, please. Please.
Thank you.
Everybody gets 3 minutes.
Thank you. I am a taxpayer.
It's fair.
I'm Donald Schneider. I live at 3040 Sussex Street, Northwest in Canton. Let me introduce myself besides that. I'm a Cantonian for 82 years. The city has provided an abundant life for my family since 1908. Canton is my home, and I want to preserve it if possible. From a childhood of ice skating on the 23rd Street Lagoon to running over 500 miles on the Fisher track as an adult, the park has always been a huge part of my life. As a businessman and citizen, I was privileged to know Carl Wise, longtime superintendent of the parks, a visionary of Canton. Much of what we have today was his creation, blending Waterworks Park, McKinley Monument, 12th Street Lagoon, and Fawcett Stadium into a wonderful montage of places to spend family time. Add to that the Garden Center and the crown jewel of all, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Canton has a winning Quinella in the West Park. If he were alive today, he would jealously guard his park against any untimely intrusion. A big asset and attraction to residents and possible transferring newcomers has always been our park system. We all know Canton has been severely hurt when most of our heavy industry disappeared in the 90s, followed by then the worst recession since the 30s. These facts make our parks even more vital. Humans need a place to go when stressed in real life. Parks always provide that magical outlet. Witness the abundance of people, families, joggers, and even Canadian geese that populate our garden center, picnic shelters, paths, jungle gyms. It's truly wondrous. The citizens of Canton many years ago hoped to answer the growing demand of many and voted to create a board of park commissioners. Then as now, The need and desirability of citizens watching and guiding their city assets was overwhelming, and the board was created by a vote of 3-1. We now have a revised plan from the mayor, switching from potholes to tennis rackets. The mayor has replaced an earlier proposal merging the park department into the street department by a new plan disbanding the park division entirely, putting the system under the direct control of the service director. He would then slough off this responsibility to Kevin Moore, a city director of public works, and then he to the joint recreational board. If the city's projected budget of 2013 is a $4 million deficit, a possible savings of $100,000 from this proposal is a 2.5% savings. Of $1, it's less than 3 cents. The latest iteration of substituting the recreation department for the street department is equally illegally thought out. Ron Duff, the recreational district board president, said, "It seems the mayor is trying to wave a magic wand and make the park department go away." It has never worked, and I'm certain it won't in this instance. Thank you.
My name is Linda Tuttle. I live at 1106 18th Street Northwest, Canton. I'd like to start by saying that there are many things that I have liked that this administration and council have worked on, that I am thoroughly appalled by the proposal to eliminate the Parks Commission and the proposal to allow fracking in city property. As far as the Parks Commission, repealing the ordinance put into effect by the people's vote is in actuality repealing the people. You took an oath to represent us. If you want change, why not put this proposal back on the ballot and let us speak up by the way of our vote? Do you not trust us voters? Or do you not trust that you can sell this proposal to us? Is this actually about saving money and merging parks and recreation, or are there other hidden agendas? There are many ways to make parks and recreation departments more effective and efficient, but the same can be said about every office in this administration. Under your plan, Mayor Healy, Canton Service Director Warren Price will be in charge of parks. Respectfully, does he really have the expertise and the time for this? How many personnel will the administration need to hire to help Mr. Price's increased workload? I highly doubt a man paid his salary has the spare time to assume the responsibility of the Parks Commission and Parks Department, quote unquote, reduced by 1 to 2 managers. This past year, under the direction of Mr. Price, Dominion East Ohio Gas started the gas line replacement program. Over 50 trees were removed on my block and within a couple blocks of my house. In the beginning, Mr. Price assured our neighborhood association that the trees removed would be replaced. 6 months later, my husband got the final confirmation from the city that our trees were deemed to have no value, quote unquote, and they would not be replaced. I asked, really? Is this the administration that you want put in charge of our parks? Not me. I'm sure that graves in and around Canton are shaking. The owners of these precious parklands who gave them to be protected are grieving over the dangers that lurk in this proposal. It is ironic that there is also a proposal to allow fracking on our lands. So I ask again, is this really about saving money, or is it about power and control? Power enough to overturn our vote? Council, are you okay with repealing the people? The people you took an oath to represent? I guarantee I will be watching. I will watch which council members are for this vote. Voters of Canton will not quickly forget. I won't let them. And that's my oath to you. Thank you.